Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to this sunny day here at Gerke Field in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, where we have a WIAC matchup between the UW-Whitewater Warhawks and your UW-Stevens Point Pointers. I am Jacob Spurl, joined here to my right is Brett McNamara, and if you are watching this online, the live stream is brought to you by Pointer Studios through the WIAC Network, with audio brought to you by WWSP 90 FM, your only alternative. Both captains of each team are heading onto the field for the coin toss. Before they get to it, Brett, how you doing today?
I'm feeling great, Jacob. It's a great day outside, not too chilly, not too warm. Sun's not on anybody. It's a really nice day to play some football, and it's going to be a tough matchup for this Pointers.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a full month since the last time we've had a home game broadcast here at Stevens Point, Wisconsin. So it's a long-awaited matchup between the Warhawks and the Pointers, as the team captains are in the middle of discussion before they prepare for the coin flip. So it's time to quickly recap what has happened in the month span that has happened between both sets of home games. Before we do that, here comes the coin flip.
It is a head. Whitewater has chosen to take the ball. Which one you guys like to take?
All right, so there are your official results. Whitewater has won the toss and has chosen to receive. Quite a dynamic offense as we've seen in years past. However, the Warhawks are actually coming off their first loss of the season a week ago with WIAC play. They lost to UW La Crosse at home in double overtime. 20-23 was the final score. The Pointers obviously had a bit of a tough game last week in their first week of opening play. They went over to Platteville, who of course won the WIAC conference last season, and they lost 52-0. The Pointers are hoping to get a bounce-back game after they started off 3-0 on the year, Brett.
Yeah, they had a great start to the season. The first month, it felt like the Pointers were unstoppable, coming in at 3-0 going into WIAC play against Platteville. Unfortunately, last week they did suffer their first loss of the season, 52-0 at Platteville, and it was a tough matchup. UW Platteville's a great squad, most likely going to win the WIAC once again, and they have another tough battle once again against the Warhawks. The Warhawks come in as one of the best teams in the WIAC, along with Platteville and La Crosse, so it's going to be a tough matchup, but I think the Pointers can give them a pretty good run for their money here today.
Yes, absolutely. Kind of talked about it, but the Pointers had a historic start to the season. They win undefeated 3-0, the first time since 2017, meaning that's the first time they have swept all non-conference opponents. That was Albion College out of Michigan, St. Norbert College here in Wisconsin, just outside of Green Bay, specifically in De Pere, Wisconsin, and then going all the way over to Oregon to play Pacific University. That was a fun matchup. They got to fly. But all focus is on this interconference matchup. The two purple squads ready to face up. Pointers kicking off. Whitewater will receive.
Yeah, I'm looking at Charlie Smith and seeing how he's going to perform today. Not a great outing against Platteville last week. Didn't get a lot of completions, not a lot of yards either. And mostly it's the run game for the Pointers, but Charlie Smith is the leader of this team, and he's got to get it done today.
Kick is away as we start. Received from about the 30. Contact made and not much after the return, so the Warhawks will start from within their own 40-yard line. And there's already an injured player down. That's on the Pointer side of things, as training staff goes to check up on him. Doesn't look good, down on the ground. Not at all the start that you would desire for your team, especially with an injured player. Yeah,
the Pointers kind of selected to go with a squib kick, I guess you can call it, a shorter kick around that 30-yard line on the return side for the Warhawks. The injured player, I believe, is the freshman Noah Joseph. I'm not too sure. I believe I saw 47, but I guess we will take a look after he gets up, but it looks like he's okay.
Getting up with his own strength. The freshman seems to be all right, heading back to the sideline. So now we can start the plays from scrimmage. 14:56 to go. Notable change on the Whitewater side of things. Their starting center all season, number 68, that is Aaron Johnson, has moved to left guard. First play from scrimmage, Justin Klinkner takes a snap and a quick throw to the outside, falls incomplete. He was looking for his man, number 23, Jaquez Brooks.
Yeah, Jaquez Brooks kind of was in that stack formation to the left side for the Warhawks. Ran a quick 5-yard out, and Klinkner just missed it. He had him wide open, a good chance of picking up a pretty decent gain there, but it goes incomplete, and a long 2nd and 10 now for the Warhawks.
On 2nd down, Whitewater will run this out of the pistol formation. Now they change it to the shotgun. Pointers show blitz. It's a fake. Quick toss is tipped and incomplete. Some force shown by the Pointers defense, and already it's 3rd and 10 for Whitewater.
Yeah, it's the nickel corner once again. We talk about him pretty much every week when we're up here broadcasting. Xander Pop batted that ball in the air. It was a play action, kind of an RPO for Klinkner. Decided to go with the pass, and Pop read that perfectly, batting that one down. And a good start for this Pointers defense. 3rd and 10. You can hear the crowd getting loud too.
We got a packed crowd here tonight. Dogs roaring on 3rd and 10. Klinkner in the shotgun, takes the snap. Pressure coming his way. He's rolling out to his right, looking for something, and he's sacked! Brought down inside the 25. A quick 3-and-out forced by this Pointers defense.
What a great start for the Dogs. Joe Barron's the leader of this defense. He's the Mike linebacker. He's calling the plays for the defense. He gets through on the blitz and taking down Klinkner. And that's a big loss of 10. 4th and 20 now for the Pointers, and a good start. Wow, Jacob, I'm loving it.
Dominant 3-and-out. Whitewater with the punt. Straight height calls for a fair catch at the 35-yard line. And that is where Charlie Smith and his Pointers offense will start.
And that's exactly the start you want. The momentum now on the Pointers side, and you need that early against a tough matchup against Whitewater. So I believe with that, you got to get something going here offensively. Charlie Smith's got to lead the Pointers here to a good score.
So it wasn't even a full minute, and Whitewater had to punt. This first play for the Pointers, they're hurrying it up. Charlie Smith will be under center from the 35. It's a play action. Pressure coming. Gets the throw off in time, and it's caught. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
What a throw with extreme pressure. Should have been a sack. Ends up in a gain.
Yeah, that was the linebacker, Jaden Fowler, the sophomore out of Morton Grove, Illinois. He got there with the initial pressure, and he really had Charlie Smith in his grasp. You thought it was going to be a sack, and Smith somehow got rid of it and got the completion. And it's 2nd and 1 now here for the Pointers.
Quick tempo offense as Smith is in the shotgun.
Nope, Smith is out to the left.
You're right. This is a wildcat formation. It looks like a false start or an offsides penalty. Either way, it was early movement. And it looks like it's going to back up the Pointers.
5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Yeah, it was the center, or I believe actually 65. He said Oscar Zamora with the false start, so that's going to push the Pointers back 5 yards. But they're going to try and run that wildcat formation. They have a lot of different formations. They run a wing T formation, they run a spread, and then they run that wildcat with Cashin in the backfield.
They motion Cashin there. It's an empty backfield play for Charlie Smith. He takes the snap. Pressure coming immediately.
Got to get rid of it.
And he just does in time. He tripped as he threw it. And that interior pressure from these big Warhawk defensive linemen already showing up here early. Now it's 3rd down.
Yeah, they really shoved that offensive front for the Pointers back, and it forced Charlie Smith to kind of go a little bit out of his rhythm, forces him out to the right, and he had to do something quickly. Luckily, it wasn't an interception, and he just throws it towards the ground for an incomplete pass.
So it's 3rd and 6 for the Pointers. From the 39-yard line, Smith in the shotgun with Cashin lined up to his left. Here's the snap. It's a fake. Smith fires and is caught for the 1st down.
Yeah, nice job there from Charlie Smith, staying calm and collective, once again finding the open wide receiver. Andrew Miller, one of his top targets, comes across the middle, and it was kind of a 10-yard in and then a comeback on a curl. So great job there by the Pointers, picking up the 1st down. And unlike the Warhawks, they don't go 3-and-out.
Miller, typically a slot receiver. He found him open there. Now on 1st and 10. It's in the Wildcat. Direct snap to Cashin. Trying to find something to get. And gets about half the distance. So nice play there from Bryson Cashin on the rush.
Yeah, coming into this one, Bryson Cashin has over 350 rushing yards, 69 attempts, and he has 4 touchdowns. So it's been all Bryson Cashin. He's the leader of this running back squad. But, of course, we're going to have to talk about the other two, Reed Smith and Zach Lynch. They come in pretty frequently, I would say, Jacob, and they kind of swap out with Cashin. So we'll see them a lot today as well.
They still have Cashin in as the back. Smith is under center. And it's an end around with a flip to Cashin, doing some creative things on that side. And he's just tackled by the last possible defender. He could have slipped through. Either way, that's a Pointers first down.
And that's that wing T formation. It was a handoff by Charlie Smith. Gave it to, I'm not sure, I believe it was Miller with the carry, and then he pitched it out. So it was actually Wiechek. Wiechek got the carry by Smith and then went out for a pitch option. So they run that triple option, and now they're going back to the Wildcat with Cashin. Or no, they're not. Excuse me.
New set of downs. Smith under center. Fake to Cashin. No, it's a give. Oh, and he's thrown down. Nice tackle made. That was number 10, Ethan Gallagher, the senior linebacker for Whitewater.
Yeah, I had him highlighted today, Jacob. He's their leading tackler coming into this one. He has 34 tackles total, 18 assisted, 16 unassisted. So Ethan Gallagher is going to be all over his field, and he shows it right there, getting to the backfield quickly. And now it's 2nd and 10 for the Pointers. Couple motion here for the Dogs.
On 2nd and 10. It is a handoff. Trouble in the backfield, and he is spun down. Not sure if that was Reed Smith or Zach Lynch on the carry.
It was Smith.
It was Reed Smith. Went into the season looking back to RB2, has taken more so of RB3 reps, at least through the first couple of games. But he was the second back that the Pointers strictly put in. Now it's 3rd and 10 to go. Smith in the shotgun. Cashin back in. He's lined up to his right. Whitewater shows a blitz.
We're going to audible here.
Smith liked something or didn't like something, so he changes the play call. Here's the snap. Pressure coming. Smith has got to get it out. Floats it downfield, and it's... Is it intercepted?
It is.
It is!
That's Noah... I believe it was Noah Morris. No. Number 11, Devin Magley with the catch, coming across the field, and Smith had to get rid of it. He had pressure from the back. He just threw it at the last second, and unfortunately, interception thrown to Devin Magley, making the play, and a great job there. He got the feet in bounds, and that makes a big play for the Warhawks.
Some big defenders up front, forced pressure, and now Whitewater will start from about the 10-yard line. They're in the pistol formation. Klinkner on the handoff. Good run here. He'll be short of the 20. Still a nice gain for Whitewater.
Yeah, they hand it off to Brian Stanton. He's their starting running back. The Warhawks comes in rushing-wise, 371 rushing yards on 38 attempts and 2 touchdowns. Their leading rusher for touchdowns is Klinkner, so don't be surprised if he gets out of the pocket and takes one.
After the gain of 7 from Stanton, 2nd and 3, they're going to run this one out of the pistol formation again. Here's the motion man. It's a play action this time. Klinkner wanted to go deep with it. He will, and it is caught. Down at the 50. That was number 13, Blake Haggerty, the junior.
Yeah, I just put my finger there. He was the guy in motion on that one. Blake Haggerty coming across all the way to the opposite side of the field by the 50, and that's where the Warhawks are going to pick up their first down.
Quick tempo and a quick snap. It's a handoff up the middle. Not much given after he runs into the first wave of Pointers defenders. They'll still give him a gain of about 4.
Yeah, it was another handoff to Brian Stanton. Gain of 4 there, and a nice run. Picks up some decent yards for the Warhawks. But we're going to go back to that last play. Blake Haggerty coming across the field. It was a beautiful route, and Klinkner read that perfectly, put it in the perfect spot, and a big first down, a gain about 30 yards for the Warhawks.
Now in Pointers territory, they're going to run this one out of the pistol again. It's a play fake, quick out, got a man, making some moves on the defender. Oh, he almost broke his ankles, was tripped up by the feet of the defender. That was Xander Pop. Oh my goodness, who he tripped up. And what a play there. That was
Christian Crump.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christian Crump ran a quick 5-yard out, and once again, back-to-back throwing attempts where it's a quick play action or for Klinkner, and he gets the ball out to the motion wide receiver. So we're going to see a lot of that today. This time it was to Christian Crump for the first down.
Looks like one of the wideouts for Whitewater might have been encroaching on the line of scrimmage. Here's a play action and a rollout. Klinkner find a man open. It is caught and brought down out the 20. That was number 19, Patrick Lipp, a senior out of Port Washington, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Lippy with the catch there across the middle, and that's kind of the similar route that got him down into Pointers territory. A little bit shorter there on the route from Lippy, but a great job there by Klinkner, staying calm just like how we see Charlie Smith from time to time as he makes a good catch, or excuse me, a good throw and catch there for the Warhawks, and now they're in the red zone.
1st and 10 from the 20. Klinkner going to throw. Fire into the end zone, wide open man for the touchdown. Whitewater strikes first.
Yeah, it was the guy that made the big grab. It was Blake Haggerty. This time it was one-on-one coverage, man-to-man defense for the Pointers, and he just beat it perfectly. Coming across the field and an early 6-0 start for the Warhawks. A great and honestly a much better drive here for Whitewater than the first one.
You're right, because that first drive was only 3 plays, a 3-and-out forced, a batted ball, an incompletion, and a sack. But this one results in a score as they attempt to kick to make it 7-0. Extra point attempt is up and through the uprights. 7-0 is the lead for Whitewater.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, a much better drive for the Warhawks. They completed all of their passing attempts. So that's a big thing we got to notice here, that the Pointers, they went to man-to-man defense quite a bit there, and it cost them, really. There's a lot of big gains, especially there on the touchdown. It was a 20-yard touchdown pass for Klinkner to Haggerty. So we're going to see a lot of that here from Whitewater, and the Pointers got to adjust in order to at least try and compete with this high-scoring Whitewater offense.
Yes, since we have the little break here in between possessions, I want to point out a couple stats. All time, Whitewater has 21 wins against Point, and Point has 6 wins against Whitewater. At home, the Warhawks are 11-3 against the Pointers, and the Pointers are 3-10 at home. And of course, last year's matchup, Whitewater took it 66-0. That was about halfway through the season. That was in Whitewater.
But a much different Pointer squad this year.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
You really see it, especially in those first 2 games that we broadcasted up here. Obviously, we didn't go to Oregon to go see that one, Jacob.
Yeah.
But no, they played great. They played competitive football, and it was a very eventful team compared to the last few years. So I'm really excited for what's coming for the Pointer squad. It is only 7-0, so we got a lot more time here for the Pointers to see if they can make a little bit of adjustments and make a comeback as Lynch falls down.
He put a hand up, so, oh my gosh, he got drilled and the ball came out! Physical football on display, and Whitewater ends up with the ball. Oh my goodness. Several Pointers look hurt. What a hit!
Wow. Just wow. Zach Lynch he slipped on the initial play, or excuse me, earlier in the play, just falls down and then grabs the ball, and he got absolutely rocked there. I'm not sure who hit him, but forces a turnover, and now the Warhawks are sitting in pretty good field position at the 14-yard line of Stevens Point in the red zone. Wow, what a hit, and Zach Lynch does look very shaken up.
So the turnover forced on special teams, and now right away Whitewater ends up 1st and 10.
They have their own Wildcat.
15, and they're doing their own Wildcat formation. Here's a run. Slipping through tackles and all the way to the end zone. A one-play drive touchdown.
Yep, it was Tyler Vasey on the Wildcat formation. The Pointers, you see them running all the time. This time the Whitewater Warhawks decide to go with it And it worked out perfectly. Vasey goes all the way to the end zone on the rushing attempt, and now 13-0 in a blink of an eye, Jacob.
What was a 7-0 game, like you said, quickly becomes 13-0. Most likely about to be 14, but there is a flag thrown. And it looks like it'll be against Whitewater.
I'm not sure.
Here comes the call.
Encroachment, offense, 5-yard penalty. The try will be from the 8-yard line.
So they say encroachment, and I did mention on a play earlier, it looked like one of the wide receivers was slightly past where the ball was lined up on the line of scrimmage. So let's watch for that in the rest of this ball game. It backs up the attempt, 5 yards. Here's the snap and the hold. Kick is up and straight through the uprights. It's a quick 14-0 lead for the Warhawks over the Pointers.
Yeah, and just unfortunate events there for the Pointers. A kick return forces a fumble on the big hit. And just to mention, Zach Lynch, he's one of their top guys in that backfield for the Pointers. So now with him most likely out for a few plays, you go to Lucas Mills.
Yes.
And Lucas Mills has seen a lot of playing time as well. So there's a couple injuries for the Pointers. Of course, Zach Lynch, he's probably being tested for a concussion right now. And then also for the Pointers, number 9, Josh Kristoff.
Saw him limping off.
The linebacker for the Pointers, like you mentioned, saw him limping off on that touchdown play by the Warhawks. We'll see if that affects him. Looks like it's a lower right leg injury. So a couple injuries here for the Pointers to start this one.
Yeah, the Pointers already coming in a little injured as well. And that was just rough from the start. Obviously, you see Lynch start to trip up. However, the Pointers, in my opinion, do have a dynamic backfield. They have 4 backs that they can rely on. So obviously losing Lynch is a loss, but they still have other players to rely on. And after the swift 14-0 lead, Whitewater will kick off once again. Pointers are hopeful that they can have a decent to dynamic kick return here. And this one looks like it'll go to the end zone, and it lands in the straight dead center middle of the end zone. It'll be called a touchback. So Charlie Smith and this Pointers offense will head back onto the field, down 14.
And you see Mills coming in right away for the Pointers. So you're going to see that Lucas Mills, Reed Smith, and Bryson Cashin now with Lynch. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but I think he's going to be out for quite a bit. So now Charlie Smith coming out for this second drive, because they never got a drive previously due to the fumble.
Correct.
And the last one he threw an interception. They were in the red zone. He threw an interception. We'll see if anything changes here.
It's a quick throw. You got a man wide open, and it's dropped. It is dropped. He had a man wide open. It was number 16, Austin Phillips, who broke free, slipped through coverage, and you just can't have that.
Just what a route. Charlie Smith, it was a play action, and the wide receiver, Austin Phillips, had him on the out and up route. Perfectly ran. It was a beautiful route by Phillips, and he just unfortunately dropped it around the 40-yard line. Would have been an easy catch and score for the Pointers, so now 2nd and 10.
Pointers want to erase that one from their memory. Here's a quick handoff, trying to break through and gets nothing. Almost loses a full yard, so already it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, Bryson Cashin tried to get around the outside, but you got to go back to that last play, unfortunately. The Pointers, you really need those ones, especially against, I've mentioned it a few times now, a high-scoring Whitewater offense. Those are the plays you need to stay competitive, and you just can't have that.
I couldn't agree more. Taking the deep shot that early, I agree with the play call, and unfortunately just wasn't properly executed. Now in 3rd and 10. It's a play fake. Smith wanted to go deep again. He will into double coverage, and it is broken up and incomplete. That throw was much better defended, and now it's 4th down. A quick 3-and-out forced by the Warhawks defense, and the Pointers are forced to punt this one away.
Yeah, the pass was intended for Austin Phillips once again, and I just don't agree with that decision by Charlie Smith. That's the only route. It's an easy play for the safety to read, so then it's automatically double coverage, and you just got to put it in a perfect spot. Smith couldn't do it there, and now once again a 3-and-out for the Pointers, and it's not a good start here for the Dogs.
That direction, that far side of the field, is the same play earlier where the safety had time to read it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this WIAC matchup here at Gerke Field in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, where the UW-Whitewater Warhawks are taking on your UW-Stevens Point Pointers. I am Jacob Spurl, joined here to my right once more, and continuing on is Brett McNamara. For anyone that missed anything going on here in the first half, we had a couple of technical difficulties, but we should be all back on the rails here. Once again, if you're watching, video is brought to you by Pointer Studios on the WIAC network and on the UWSP athletics page, with audio brought to you by UWSP 90 FM, your only alternative. And right now, the Warhawks are up 24-0 over the Pointers. They scored one last touchdown in the last 18 seconds of the first half after a very efficient drive. But the Pointers only got in the position where they were because Whitewater started off with a touchdown on their second drive early in the first quarter, and then they kicked. The Pointers fumbled on the kick return. That was by way of Zach Lynch, one of the backs in the Pointer backfield, who is out for the rest of this game. Brett, what do you got looking for us here on the stat sheet?
Yeah, going over to the stat sheet, Jacob. Passing-wise, Justin Klinkner is pretty much so far so good. 19 to 26, 210 passing yards, 1 touchdown. He's been playing great. Along with that, rushing-wise for him, he's got 7 carries for 18 yards and a rushing touchdown as well. That rushing touchdown came as the last touchdown for the Warhawks. Going over to the Stevens Point passing side, Charlie Smith, not so great. 3 of 8. I want to see a little bit more passing out of this Pointers offense, especially with the big deficit. And then 24 yards passing as well. Rushing-wise, Bryson Cashin, 9 attempts, 39 yards. And then Braden Wiechek, 1 carry for 5 yards. Over on the Whitewater side, it's been Ty Schultz this time, 5 carries, 31 yards. And then their other running back, Brian Stanton, 3 carries, 13 yards. And then to round this one out, receiving-wise, Blake Hagerty, 6 targets, 5 receptions, 72 yards, and a touchdown. He's been playing great. He's been getting open on that man-to-man defense, so nice job there. And then for the Pointers, 6 targets for Austin Phillips, only 2 catches for 10 yards. And then Andrew Miller with that 1 14-yard grab.
Pointers down a significant amount as they're set here to receive. Whitewater kicks it away to start half number 2 here in Stevens Point. Pointers will take this from inside the 5, have some blocking, slipping through, and will be down just past the 25-yard line. So that is where Charlie Smith and this Pointer offense will start here in quarter number 3.
And a thing I've been noticing on this sideline, I have not seen the backup quarterback, Carson Glossney, anywhere, not even warming up or anything. So I don't know if he's injured or if something happened, but now the backup quarterback would either be Drew Vinny or it would be, I'm not too sure, it would be Ryan Thompson.
First play from scrimmage here in the second half. It's an end around and a lob backwards. That's a live ball. Has to land on it. The Pointers tried that earlier in the game. And Bryson Cashin, who was the back that tossed that. Oh, no.
It's going to be Braden Wiechek down for the Pointers, the wide receiver. He was the one that pitched it. He got popped in that backfield. So a loss of 4 for the Pointers, 2nd and 14. Not a great start coming out of halftime.
Yeah, the game unfortunately started after the Pointers kicked it off to Whitewater. They had an injury on the special team side of things. And now, unfortunately, for the Pointers, once more have an injury early to start the second half, and that's Wiechek. We haven't seen a ton of him today. He's been very involved with the Pointers offense overall, but he gets back up, heading back to the sideline. So it seems like he's okay. And now both teams are heading back onto the field to continue here. After the loss, it was a big tackle for loss of 5 yards. So now it's 2nd and 15 for the Pointers. Smith will be in the shotgun. Cashin lined up to his left. It's a fake. Smith stepping up, going deep, and that's got to be contact. They don't call it. Maybe they tripped up. They do typically have a replay system here on the board, but they don't use that with any of their officiating in D3 college football. And the incompletion just coming after a lost play, so now it's 3rd and 15.
Yeah, pass was intended for the wide receiver, Austin Phillips. Tried to get him back on that out route around the sticks.
After the quick snap, Smith in the rollout, has time. Now he has pressure. Breaks one tackle, stepping up, making moves. He's going to get hit. He does, and the ball falls incomplete. He just got the pass out of there, Brett.
Yeah, the pressure was from all over. Smith had to make it a play, and he just couldn't do it. Nobody was open, and there was like 4 different guys just ready to sack Smith, and unfortunately now a 3 now for the Pointers.
Yeah, I mean, the drive began unfortunate for them right away, the loss of 5, and luckily not an injured Brandon Wiechek, but still that was a broken start to what was supposed to be the first offensive drive of the second half. Pointers now have to punt it away. Here it is. Having to backtrack. Whitewater will take it from about the 31, cutting through with a lane and now spun down just shy of midfield.
Yeah, nice return there from Blake Hagerty once again. And he's been doing it all for Whitewater. He's been their star player along with Klinker, the quarterback. I want to see a lot more running here, though, from Whitewater. Really have a good chance of pushing that running game and trying to make it work when they head down the stretch towards the season, the rest of the season.
So here comes Justin Klinkner, the sophomore out of Two Rivers, Wisconsin, and the starting quarterback for the Warhawks. And they've run the vast majority of their offensive plays out of the pistol formation, and they're going to do that once more. On 1st and 10, Klinkner hands it off inside. Nice patience there from the back as he takes it past midfield and into Pointers territory.
Yeah, I think it was a carry by Noah Battle. I'm not too sure. No, it was actually number 9. That's Brian Stanton. I thought it was Battle. That's my bad there. But a gain of 5 and a good job here from the Warhawks. Just like I mentioned, I want to see a little bit more of the running game. Try to get that going because it's going to help them down the stretch when it comes to a lot more competitive matches between UW-La Crosse, UW-Oshkosh, and River Falls.
On 2nd and 5, here's a play action and a pump. Now Klinkner going deep down the far side, and it falls incomplete. Nice coverage there, and that results in 3rd down for the Warhawks.
And that is textbook defense there
Absolutely.
from Brock Jadwick. He played it great. It was an out and up. You saw the Pointers try to run it earlier in the game. This time the Whitewater Warhawks do, and Brock Chadwick played that perfectly, so nice job there for the Pointers defense. 3rd and 5. They need to stop here, Jacob.
Crowd into it. Down 24 early here in the 3rd quarter. You hear the dog pound on 3rd and 5 in the pistol formation. Klinkner takes the snap, looking to pass. He floats it to an open man. It's caught with an easy 1st down, and that's their star tight end, number 11, Nolan Hawk.
Yeah, Nolan Hawk, the senior from DeForest, gets out there, and you saw Klinkner look right at him, right at his way. He knew where he was going. That was his first initial read, and it worked out perfectly for the Warhawks, picking up the 1st down and heading into Stevens Point territory once again. And the Warhawks are looking to fly into that end zone once again.
New set of downs. Out of the pistol. It's a play fake with pressure coming. Quick floater pass, met up with immediate contact and brought down at the 45-yard line. Nice play and a loss forced by this Pointers defense.
This time it wasn't Hawk, it was the other tight end, Charlie Copen. And it looks like Klinkner once again knew where he was going, and I think if he would have rolled out a little bit longer, he would have had the starting tight end, Hawk. He came across that field on a crosser. That would have been an easy gain of at least 7 for the Warhawks. He just missed him. This time the play goes backwards, so now 2nd and 12, or actually 2nd and 13 for Whitewater.
After the loss of 3, here comes the motion man. They fake the end around. It is an inside run. Break it through the 2nd level and inside the 35 for Whitewater. It'll be 2nd and short.
Yeah, it's Brian Stanton getting the carries now. It was a lot of Ty Schultz in that first half. We'll see if Stanton is the go-to back here in the second half.
They have Schultz here, or no, that is Stanton. Line up to his left. And it is a give to Stanton inside the middle. Breaking tackles, breaks another. Look at that contact balance. That's a Warhawks first down.
Ooh, I love to see that, Jacob. Dropping the shoulder. I'm doing it into you now. Oh my goodness, Stanton drops it a couple times, picks up that first down for the Warhawks, and now they go to a tempo offense.
Quick tempo here, low snap, handoff. Once again is Stanton, breaking tackles in the backfield. Look at this! Oh my goodness, finally dragged down by way of his jersey. The tackle made there by, I believe, number 22, that was Brock Chadwick, the senior defensive back. But again, Stanton breaking at least 4 tackles on that play.
Yeah, he's just brushing off defenders like they're feathers. It's just working out perfectly for the Warhawks so far, and Stanton's looking like this starting running back for the Whitewater Warhawks.
He heads to the bench here as they bring in their backup Ty Schultz, the RB2 for the Warhawks.
Got one-on-one coverage.
Yes, on 2nd and 4. It's a give to Schultz. Met up immediately. Nice play there. That was number 46 for the Pointers, Paul Morris.
Yeah,
Talked about him a lot.
Yeah, I like how I mentioned at the start of this drive, I want to see a lot more of the running game. They have not thrown it once. No, actually, they have. I'm misinformed there. No, they threw it twice, but no, it's been a lot more running games or rushing attempts here for the Warhawks, and I like to see that.
The last several series of downs, the Whitewater Warhawks have ran the ball a lot, so you're not technically completely wrong, Brett. This time they are going to throw it, though. Klinkner with pressure, stepping up, and is spun down by the Pointers defense. Nice pressure there.
Yeah, sack was made by Joe Behrens. And the Pointers defense, they're getting to the quarterback pretty consistently here. They're creating a lot of pressure. Obviously, Klinkner's doing a great job of rolling out of that pocket, staying calm and collective, and making the throws. But the Pointers are bringing pressure, and you love to see that, Jacob.
I believe that was the Pointers' 3rd sack on Klinkner against the Whitewater offensive front, who typically has one of the best offensive lines in D3 college football. Here's a handoff to the outside, trying to find some room, but doesn't get much. And that was Brian Stanton, who's back out there. But after the loss, now it's 3rd and long.
And he makes back-to-back plays. Joe Behrens making the attempt here on the loss of yardage. Great job there getting to the backfield. Now 3rd and 16. These are the plays you need to stop. You can't have them score here. It's a big 3rd down. You're already down 24-0. The Pointers got to get momentum on their side.
Could not agree more, Brett. Klinkner in the shotgun with Stanton lined up to his left. On 3rd down, it's a play action. Klinkner going deep with it, and it is caught for the Whitewater touchdown.
And that's exactly what you cannot happen or have not happen. Literally right up the middle, right through that zone defense. And the touchdown was caught by Patrick Lippy. He was wide open in the end zone on a 3rd and 16 from around the 20-yard line, and it was an easy throw for Klinkner.
And now attempting the extra point to make it 31-0. Kick is up, nearly blocked, and it goes through the uprights. 31-0 is the score here for Whitewater.
And the Pointers were so close there, Jacob. They had it 3rd and 16, a couple loss of yardage plays, and just didn't work out in their favor. But I'm loving the pressure here from the Pointers. They're playing great when it comes to throwing pressure on the quarterback.
The Pointers had a couple of key stops, especially earlier in this game on defense. But right now, the Pointers seemingly struggling, at least defensively, on those 3rd down plays. And I shouldn't say that as a negative for the Pointers. I should say it more so as a positive for the Warhawks. They have converted when they need to on those 3rd down plays. Let's take a look quickly at the upcoming schedules. The Pointers are back home next week for their homecoming matchup against UW-River Falls, who the last time was checked was beating the top of the conference team, Platteville, at home. And then after that, they play Stout away. Then they're back on November 1st. Home game against Eau Claire, away the following week against Oshkosh, and Senior Day and the final home game of the year, final game of the season for the Pointers will be UW La Crosse on November 15th, barring a playoff entry.
Yeah, as we look over at that River Falls game, currently Platteville down by 17 points, 24-7. A great job here from River Falls, forcing Platteville to only 7 points, an undefeated squad.
Yeah, both are great teams, but that would be considered an upset by these other WIAC teams. Kick is taken in the front, or sorry, not taken in, was stopped there in the front of the end zone. That'll be a touchback. Starting once more at the 25 will be Charlie Smith and the UWSP offense.
So right now, Charlie Smith hasn't thrown the ball a lot. It's been 3 of 8 for his throwing attempts, and I just want to see him get going a little bit. I need to see him put a complete drive together. We haven't seen it yet, and I would love just to see that out of Charlie Smith in this Pointers offense. A lot of running.
Yeah, they need to match the energy that they started with in the game, specifically defensively. They had not such a nice start with a 3 and out. But we're not talking about the Pointers defense. We've got the offense here on 1st and 10. Smith looking. He fires near side, and he missed his man wide, and he had him open as well. That was number 12 for the Pointers, Ben Wallersheim.
Yeah, Ben Wallersheim. We haven't talked about him at all today. Usually he's one of the top targets for Charlie Smith, and he just couldn't get the ball out correctly there. A little bit underthrown as well, and you're starting to see the consistency here from Charlie Smith on not hitting his passes.
After the incompletion, clock stops with just under 9 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. On 2nd and 10, it's a pitch to the outside. Here comes Cash, and he gets a nice block there, and then he's brought down around the 25-yard line. Sorry, around the 25-yard line, so really not much there.
And I've mentioned it a couple times now, Elijah Mott, he's just getting pushed back. He's a big tight end, and a corner is pushing him right through him. He's got to initially block him all the way through, and otherwise that screen pass is not going to work, and right there it shows.
It's not always the biggest man wins. In football, it's typically the lowest man wins, so height is never necessarily an advantage for blocking scheme. So now it's 3rd and 9. Smith in the shotgun with the back lined up to his left. Here comes pressure. Smith trying to escape. He's rolling out to his right. Now he's got green grass in front of him. Going to try to run for the 1st down, but it'll come out of bounds a few yards shy.
And just once again, not a great possession here from the Pointers. They try to throw it on that 1st down. Obviously, it goes incomplete. And then on 2nd down, you try to go back to something that hasn't been working, which was that pitch pass, or excuse me, that pitch to Cashin. And then 3rd down there, obviously nobody was open. So it's just not working offensively for the Pointers. And it's not necessarily the offensive line's fault. They're not, the Warhawks have not been getting back there. They're not creating a lot of pressure. So it's just coming from the wide receivers.
Back-to-back 3 and outs for the Pointers offense forced by the Warhawks defense. And the punt will be taken in from the 20-yard line. Flag flies right off the rip as he's breaking through tackles. Past midfield, has blockers. Another flag is thrown as the final Pointer defender makes the tackle. A helmet was lost in the play. There are 3 different flags on the field, so I'm guessing we're going to get a big talk from all these referees.
There is 4 flags, Jacob. So we got one in the back, we got one on the side, and I think one of them that I saw pretty clearly was a blindside block. It was coming back and just, boom, hit one of the Pointers. So we're going to see one of that, and I think there's going to be another holding penalty. And on top of that, there's another flag over by the 40-yard line on Stevens Point's side. So I think there's 3 penalties here on Warhawks. I'm going to be honest.
The Whitewater Warhawks actually leading both teams in penalties, even though they're up by 31 points. Officials still discussing the matter here, but they've already had a couple of holding penalties today. And you already mentioned it. We definitely saw one. None of the flags have been picked up. This is an all-official conference right now, as I predicted, because there were several different penalties pulled out. And, of course, it can't be offsetting if it's one on each team, and I doubt it will be that.
I feel bad for the lone ref here by the
field
Pointer
judge,
side.
yes.
Yeah, he's just kind of standing there where the initial line of scrimmage is going to be. So we're going to see what they're going to talk about. Looks like kind of the refs are spreading apart here, and we'll see.
Now they're coming back in.
Never mind.
So now some of the officials have to communicate to each sideline if there are any exceptions or rejections.
Called by the receiving team. Personal foul, participating without a helmet. Whitewater, number 36. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, flipping. Receiving team, number 52. 15-yard penalties from the spot of the foul. 1st down, Whitewater.
Wow, so both calls go against Whitewater, one of which a clipping penalty. You rarely see that, but that is a very illegal maneuver, and it's considered a heavy set penalty, so it'll be a 15-yard loss from the spot of the ball. The original penalty that was called, though, was playing without a helmet.
I've never seen that, Jay.
I've never
Heard of that.
I don't know if the official meant that he lost the helmet during the play and continue to try to play on.
But even then, you've seen videos, you've seen clips of
But
people.
it's different.
It is different.
That's the NFL.
Yes, that is the NFL. But still, like, I've never heard of you not – because I feel like the helmet, once it comes out, then it's just you'll still be able to play.
Now on 1st and 10 from the 29. It's a handoff up the middle. Here's Ty Schultz. Decent gain, about half the distance, and it'll be 2nd down.
And this is exactly what I want to see out of Whitewater. They're running the ball. You're up big, 31-0. So if you're Whitewater, you got to get this running game going, and you got to see what works. You're going to try new things here, especially with the big lead. So I like what they're doing here running-wise, and especially going to Schultz. I like Schultz a lot more than I've seen from Brian Stanton. Obviously, they're splitting a little bit more, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from Schultz.
On 2nd and 4, here's a play action. Clicker punt, now he fires, and it's caught for the 1st down and more. Nice, oh my goodness, breaking through tackles, and finally brought down near the 15. That was Tyler Vasey.
Vasey with the playmaker. Oh my goodness. A play action throw from Klinkner all the way coming across was Vasey, and he broke a couple tackles as well. Tackled around the 15-yard line into Stevens Point territory.
Fast tempo, it's a handoff, and he lost the ball. The ball is loose, and it's recovered by the Pointers.
What a turn of events, Jacob. A big play from Whitewater, then turns to a big play for the Pointers on the fumble. I was just talking about how much I loved seeing Ty Schultz getting a lot of carries. He cost the football here for Whitewater into the red zone. Now the Pointers take over at the, I want to say the 18-yard line, Jacob. Wow.
What an eventful last 3 minutes.
Not even 3 minutes. That was 30 seconds.
Well, the kick return.
Oh, yes.
The punt return was very odd. And then right after that, you got not so deep shot that results in a deep shot-esque play, and then a fumble. It gives the Pointers a chance to do something on 1st and 10. Smith looking, firing to the far side, got a man wide open. That's Wieczek for the big 1st down.
And I've talked about it so much, Jacob. The momentum. You have a fumble, and look at this tempo offense from the Pointers coming along together. You get a big gain to Braden Wieczek, a gain of around 30 yards. And finally, Charlie Smith hits the big target.
They got to get that pass game going, and it looks like they might continue that here. It is an empty backfield play.
Watch the bubble screen here, possibly.
Smith stepping up with pressure.
Yep.
Just going to run to the outside. Nice play there, and a decent gain for Charlie Smith on the carry.
Matt Getchin, oh my goodness, great job there. He ran a 5-yard in route, realized Smith was going to run it, and he turns around and makes the block. Great job there, kind of sealing him as well. And now a big game for the Pointers. 2nd and 1. I want to see a big pass attempt here.
I wouldn't hate that. And when you talk about Getchin on the exterior block, he's been mostly the tight end 1 all season, but Mott became the 1st string, Getchin as the backup, but he made a big play there on 2nd and 1.
You have
Smith
the bubble
with pressure,
screen.
bringing out the stiff arm, fires, got him in open. That's a 1st down play. He's tripped up down to the 30, and the Pointers are officially driving.
I was a play off on that bubble screen. There it was. He had the wide receiver. It was Andrew Miller. He didn't throw it initially. Then Andrew Miller cut up the field. Great job there being aware of what's going on. Smith finds his target, and another 1st down for the Pointers.
Now with under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, Pointers starting from the Whitewater 31-yard line. Smith takes a snap.
He's open.
Pressure coming, going down the field, is caught. That's a touchdown for the Pointers. Those are their first points scored since September 20th.
And Jacob, it was 6 with the 6. Braden Wieczek gets into the end zone on a great read and throw by Charlie Smith, finding the wide open wide receiver. And finally the Pointers get on the board. It is now 31-6, awaiting the PAT.
They've long desired to get back on the board. They've done it. All starting with the defensive turnover. Nice play made by the Pointers defense. That was complimentary football as the kick is up and good. 31-7 is your current score in Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
I told you, Jacob, momentum is a real thing, and right there was pretty much a pretty good example of it. You force a fumble, big grab, another big grab, and then another big grab, and that's Charlie Smith being the quarterback that he is. He's using his targets wisely. He's not throwing. He's not targeting one guy. He's throwing it around the field.
Looking at all of his reads.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Whether it's Wecheck or Phillips or even the tight end Mott, it's just great job there from Charlie Smith, and finally the Pointers get on the board.
Complimentary football at its finest. Defensive plays made, forces a turnover. Offense takes advantage. You got a quick score update for us around the WIAC, Brett?
I do. I got a final score update between UW-La Crosse and Eau Claire. 41-21 is the final. La Crosse improves to 4-0. Eau Claire drops to 3-2. Then we look over to the River Falls game. Platteville scores a touchdown. It is now 13-24 River Falls with a little under 12 minutes left to go in that third quarter. And finally, to round it out, UW-Oshkosh is currently up 16-6 at UW-Stout. Stout looking to improve or both of these teams looking to improve to 4-1.
Kick is away. Whitewater will take it from about the 13 or the 12. Nice block there. Slipping through tackles. He's got an open lane. Breaking free and finally spun down near the 40. That tackle may have prevented a kick return touchdown and would have completely changed the feeling in this stadium. Still a big play there for Whitewater.
And it was the kicker. You see it all the time in the NFL. You see it in the college. It's always the kicker, the last man standing right there. Vogline, the punter/kicker, makes the play and stops possibly what could have been a kick return touchdown for Whitewater.
Expert pronunciation there, Brett. Vogline is the last name of the Pointers punter. Sorry, kicker. And now, 1st and 10 for the Warhawks. Running this out of the pistol formation. Klinkner on the inside run. Nice blocking there, still on his feet. And finally brought down to the 30. That was Brian Stanton on the rush and gives the Warhawks a first down.
Yeah, great job there from Stanton, reading his blocks pretty much perfectly there, and then spinning out of a tackle as well, picking up the first down. So great job there from Stanton. And this running game for the Warhawks is looking pretty good so far.
And there's a stoppage of play.
Timeout, I believe, for the Pointers.
You were correct there. Luke Vinay calls the Pointers' first timeout here in the second half.
Yeah, nice job here from the Pointers defense so far in this second half. I know they gave up a touchdown early, but that fumble really just changed something in this squad. We'll see if it carries over to this drive as well. I don't know. Whitewater's currently pushing it pretty good so far down to the 30.
I feel like defensively the Pointers have made most of their plays on their own side of the field, especially that fumble. You saw 3 and outs. Those were the only ones earlier that have, I would say, were big defensive plays that took place on Whitewater's side of the 50. So there's about 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Still plenty of game left, but if Whitewater scores here, that might be the nail in the coffin. Obviously, anything is possible, but you're down several possessions. The Pointers defense, the Pointers in general need their defense the most. Here, it'll be 1st and 10 from inside the 30 on Pointers' side of the field.
And I'm watching the wide receiver for the Warhawks, Blake Hagerty, that one-on-one coverage, even though they're going with the run here.
It's a run and not much there. Gain of maybe 1 or 2. Good stop there from the Pointers defense. That was once again Brian Stanton on the carry for the Warhawks.
I feel like the Warhawks have that kind of hunch that they know they got the passing game in their back pocket. They're just going to keep on working this run game, and eventually when they really need to go to it, they got the passing game. And we saw it on that 20-yard touchdown on 3rd and 14. Realistically, they were running it and running it and running it, and then finally they go to the pass, and it works out in their favor.
After the gain of 2, it's 2nd and 8. Once again out of the pistol. Another run for Stanton, finding a midboard of a hole. Breaking and slipping. Nice contact balance again. And they'll give Whitewater a first down he had a wide open gap to start off that run, so he immediately breaks through the first level and enters into the second.
Yes, Stanton has been phenomenal so far in the second half. He's really slipping off the defenders. He's brushing them off. I mentioned it just like a feather. It was great so far.
They keep Stanton in for, I believe, the 5th consecutive snap. Under 3 minutes to go now here in the third. Pointers show blitz. They bring it. Another inside run. And again, decent gain for Brian Stanton. Back-to-back-to-back plays to him.
And I feel like Brian Stanton's just kind of spamming every button on the controller, whether it's a juke move, a spin move. We haven't seen the hurdle yet.
Not yet.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls that one out.
So that's an official prediction from you, Brian.
Yeah, we'll see a hurdle. I think it's going to happen.
All right. They're really wearing down this clock to try to finish off the third quarter.
And a new running back in there for the Warhawks. It's Cole Berghorn, the sophomore out of Walworth, Wisconsin.
So they give Stanton a break, and of course it's a play action. Here's a quick throw. Catch made. Spun down backwards. Nice tackle made. He brings down the receiver, number 23, Jaquez Brooks. Haven't called his name in a little while.
Yeah, with under 2 minutes left to go, the Pointers are playing some pretty good defense here. It's 3rd and 5. Try and force the Warhawks to a field goal. Could really work out in their favor.
Just a reminder, if you're listening, audio is brought to you by UWSP 90 FM, with video brought to you by Pointer Studios on the WIAC Network and the UWSP Athletics page on YouTube. Here we go. It's 3rd and 5. Straightens back in. Quick snap. Pressure coming, and a sack forced by the Pointers.
It's my guy, Peyton Schwann. I missed him on the first broadcast, talked about him in the second. Peyton Schwann getting through this offensive line of the Warhawks, and a great job there to force them back. And now a field goal attempt waiting for Whitewater. Great job there from Peyton Schwann.
This has got to instill some confidence. The fact that they've already gotten at least 4 sacks against one of the best offensive lines in the country for D3 football. The kick is blocked! It is blocked! And a quick throw is out of bounds.
Can they do that?
They can. It was a live ball, and he was behind the line of scrimmage. That was a legal throw, but nonetheless an incredible defensive play.
And you know who made the play? Peyton Schwann. Back-to-back plays, a sack, a blocked field goal, and wow, what a great job by the sophomore junior defensive lineman, making a couple big plays for the Dogs.
Pointers defense come to play at crucial moments these last 2 drives. Now there's 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Still, they're down 24 points. And I'm not sure. There was a flag thrown.
And I think it's intentionally grounding. I want to say it was intentional grounding because I feel like you can't throw. Yep.
You're right. So it is ruled intentional grounding. You are correct. He was inside the hashes, so inside the parameter of the pocket, throwing it out of play. That is an intentional grounds penalty. So now Point starts it from their own 32-yard line.
And that's what I was kind of saying. Like, why? I feel like you can't do that, Jacob.
You're right.
It was intentional grounding there.
On 1st and 10. Smith in the shotgun with the back line up to his right. Here comes a blitz. Play action. Smith wanting to go deep. He will, and he got him on the out route. A quick first down to start the Pointer drive.
And once Smith starts hitting, he starts hitting. And right there, he's completed 4 in a row. This time, the guy he saw in the end zone for the touchdown, Braden Wiechek, picking up that first down. And as we had under 30 seconds left in this third quarter, a good job here from Smith and his wide receivers.
With the limited time left, the Pointers are just probably going to be able to get only 1 play off left here in the third. New set of sticks. Smith in the rollout, has some time, going deep over the middle, and it's a jumping catch for a first down.
As that's most likely going to end this third quarter. I mentioned it at the start of the half. I want to see this passing game a little bit start to get going. And sure enough, Jacob, 5 completions in a row on the catch there from Phillips, and a first down for the Pointers at the 41.
You can see some excitement from this Pointers offense. There's crowd life, and there's already been more passing yards here in the third quarter than there was in the first two, more attempts, I should say, completed by way of Charlie Smith. Even though it is a 24-point game, the just atmosphere, the aesthetic that is coming off from the crowd and the environment, from the sideline and from the team, it just feels like something has shifted in the air.
Exactly, and even though they're down 31-7 right now, this momentum is going into that next game, which is against a very tough River Falls squad. So you want this passing game to start working when you have a very hard defense to play against next week as well.
So now, coming back out to start the fourth quarter. 15 minutes left in this game. Pointers are down 31-7. First play here, Smith will be in the shotgun.
No, it's Cashin in the Wildcat.
Oh, they're doing Wildcat formation, you're right. Here's a motion. Flags fly as Cashin
Illegal shift.
doesn't get much, and you're right, that was an illegal motion, and they're going to bring this one back.
Yeah, they knew that. The refs were actually talking about it pre-snap. They knew they were going to blow this one for an illegal motion.
Illegal formation. Offense, number 63 was lined up in the backfield. That's a 5-yard penalty, first out.
So it was illegal alignment. They had a extra men lined up in the backfield, incorrectly at least. You know, there's been a couple of close calls today on both teams, also on Whitewater, with teams seemingly encroaching on the offensive side of things, where a wide receiver or a wideout will be lined past where the ball is placed in the line of scrimmage. But that one gets called. It's 1st and 15.
I'm seeing the safeties kind of crunching a little bit. I would like to see the pointers go to the middle of the field here.
Smith passing, falls incomplete. Don't see enough to draw a flag, so it forces 2nd and 15.
Yeah, pass was intended for Phillips. It looks like they just weren't on the same page there. Looks like he flipped his page a little too early. So now 2nd and 15. Like I mentioned before, I want to see the pointers kind of go to the middle of the field. They worked there a couple plays ago to get the first down to Phillips. So I would love to see that here, Jacob.
So you don't want to see the Pointers, who had such great momentum. They started this fourth quarter off with a penalty, but they're trying to get something going here. Smith to the outside, and once again, a miscommunication between him and his receiver, and now it's 3rd down.
Yeah, I don't like that read there from Smith. Once again, I feel like he's done it quite frequently in this game, is that you're trying to just force a pass right away. Like, you know where you're going. Your number one read is where you're trying to go right away. I just don't like that. I like to see go through your progressions, and right there he just didn't do that.
Something of note as well, Charlie Smith stood still in the pocket with lots of pressure coming his way. He's been very much on his feet. I was very surprised by that. But now it is 3rd and 15 and a do-or-die moment for the Pointers' attempted comeback. Smith stepping up. He's trying to step away, running and slides to the 40. Gets hit from behind, and look at this. There's a little extra stuff going on between a defensive lineman and a Pointer offensive lineman. And honestly, the hit from behind on the slide of Charlie Smith seems somewhat close to maybe illegal contact.
I feel like you knew Smith was going to slide there, so I feel like that would have been the correct call if they decided to throw a flag there. No flag. And the Pointers are going to go for it here on 4th and 10 from the 40-yard line.
And they have to.
They have to, yes. Trips left, and a timeout's going to be called by Luke Vinay.
So that's their 2nd of the half. They only have 1 left to use after this. Whitewater still has all 3 of theirs. And before we come back from this 4th down play, we're going to take a look at a couple of WIAC scores brought to you by Brett McNamara.
Yeah, looking over to that River Falls game, River Falls scores once again. It is now 31-14 against the Pioneers, and right now the Pioneers are on upset watch. I mean, River Falls is still ranked 14th, but Platteville ranked number 6th. And then heading over to UW-Stout and Oshkosh. Oshkosh currently up 16-13, a little over a minute left in that 3rd quarter. And then I'm going to swing it over to UW Stevens Point Volleyball. Congrats to beating Hardin-Simmons University 3-2 in sets at UW-Whitewater.
Pointers now have won 3 straight volleyball games, and they're jumping up in the rankings and jumping up in the WIAC conference now. But we're back from the timeout called. It's 4th and 10. Pointers down 24 points. They need this more than ever. Smith is in the shotgun with the back lined up to his right. Smith fires, and it's way behind. Another miscommunication. Smith got drilled after the play, wasn't happy about that one. And now it's a turnover on downs. Here comes Justin Klinkner and the rest of the Warhawks offense.
Yeah, and the offensive coordinator of the Pointers was not very happy on the decision there from Charlie Smith to try and underthrow that one and have the wide receiver come back and make the decision on his own. And that's something you got to talk pre-snap with your wide receiver. Obviously, they weren't on the right wavelength there, and it just didn't work out.
And they also had the timeout to work with, so the fact that there was a miscommunication is not the greatest sign. But now, after the turnover, it's a first down. Quick outside route. They've done it all game. And a gain of about 6 yards for the Warhawks on second down.
Yeah, you mentioned it. They've been doing a lot of those out routes. Justin Klinkner, it's his go-to route. When you feel comfortable enough to go to it, why go away from it? It's working. Pointers are playing far enough back where it's going to work, and that time he goes to Tyler Vassy.
Well, they've clearly watched the tape because that is everything that Platteville did to Stevens Point last week. It was very efficient, not a ton of deep balls, just a lot of the out route game targeting that Pointer secondary. And now on 2nd and 3, it's a run up the middle. Hit a wall of Pointers, and he should be stopped by about a yard. Officials finally blow the whistle.
Yeah, they're going to give him the first down, though, on the run to Stanton. But a gain of 2 there. So if I'm the Warhawks here with a little under 13 minutes down, up 31-7.
Keep it on the ground, man.
Keep it on the ground. Yeah, exactly. It's been working well here in the second half. You see it a lot more. And then, like I mentioned before, if you need to go to the pass game, you can.
They got Vassy lined up wide here on the near side of the field on the 50. It's a play action. He's throwing his way. It is caught. Trying to break the tackle. He did. So nice yards after contact, and he is close to the first down marker.
And Brock Chadwick can only do so much. He's listening to his coaches. He's playing where they want him to play. And they just keep on going to the out route. So you got to make adjustments there. Brock Chadwick played that the best way possible he could, and then it just slips off. He's not getting there in time. So the coaches just need to communicate that better to the corners, which Gregory Westemere and Brock Chadwick have just been playing back a lot.
I mean, you could just see it from a mile away. It's the exact throw that Klinkner made now on 1st and 10 in the pistol. It's another play action with immediate pressure and a sack made. That was number 42, Joe Behrens.
Yeah, Joe Behrens, the highlight player of the game for the Pointers defense. He's been all over this field, and we mentioned this linebacker core over and over and over again. They make the big plays. They are the heart and soul of this defense, and once again, getting the sack, Joe Behrens.
On 2nd and 24. That was a loss of 14 yards. What a play. Out of the pistol. Klinkner waiting for his motion man. Now it's a play fake and a quick out again. It's caught, and it gets him back to the original line of scrimmage, or just shy. So now it's 3rd and long for Whitewater.
Yeah, once again, they go to his top wide receiver, Klinkner's top wide receiver, Blake Hagerty, and just, again, that out route. It's rinse and repeat. It really is, and the Pointers aren't adjusting to it. And I feel like that's one thing at halftime you need to talk about is adjustments. That's how you win a football game, and they just don't do it defensively.
We got it again. Vassy lined up alone on the near side.
I would watch this comeback route here by Vassy.
He's thrown over the middle instead for a wide open man. It's caught and brought down near the 15-yard line. And that's a first down for Whitewater.
And you notice it now. You're starting to see the consistency here. On the 3rd and longs, the Pointers are switching to their zone defense, and it's been working. The Whitewater Warhawks are reading that perfectly. And right there, another big catch by the wide receiver, Patrick Lippy, who had a touchdown earlier in this half, as the corner for the Pointers, Brock Chadwick, is out on the sideline with an injury. So the newly entered corner is now Nathan Huff, the junior out of Delavan.
1st and 10. Inside run up the gut. Breaking free. Touchdown, Warhawks. There he was. It was Brian Stanton again, increasing the Warhawks' lead.
Yeah, Stanton, nice job there, reading the hole perfectly, and he's been doing a lot of that today. We mentioned it here in the second half that he's been shifty. He's been really spamming every single thing on the controller, and right there he gets into the end zone to make it 37-7 Warhawks, as we are entering blowout territory. But once again, the Pointers are just doing a great job, or excuse me, the Warhawks are just doing a great job of taking it to the Pointers today.
Extra point attempt is good. Warhawks take the 38-7 lead over the Pointers, and that touchdown there by Brian Stanton might have just slammed the door on a potential comeback for the Pointers, and might as well just have given the victory to Whitewater.
Yeah, with 9:43 left, I want to see the Pointers just keep on pushing, keep on going to that passing game. They're doing it well here in the second half. They really are. And it's just unfortunate that Whitewater is a very good football team, but I feel like overall the Pointers haven't played a bad football game today. They played their heart and souls out like usual, a much better effort than we've seen past years against this Whitewater squad. So we gotta give it to Whitewater. They've really played competitive football today.
Absolutely. Now, under 10 minutes to go, Whitewater about to kick off for the Pointers. And, of course, they've got Brian Cashin, but we've seen ever since that Week 2 game that kicks never go his way, and that's because of how dangerous of a kick returner that the leading back was for the Pointers.
I mean, basically he has 2 kick return touchdowns. Let's be honest,
yes.
Jacob. I know one of them got called back on a penalty.
I'm counting it.
But, yes, Bryson Cashin is lethal back there as a kick returner. So we'll see if they kick it out of the back of the end zone or they go to discharges here.
Kick is away. Nice boot. Pointers are going to want to take it out from the 1. Met up with contact trying to spit out of it, but he won't. He gets maybe to the 12-yard line. And it looks like they're going to still stick with Charlie Smith. So they're not giving up completely yet.
And a couple more whistles here from that far line judge. We'll see what he's talking about here. Looks like it's
just something for the scoreboard operator.
They want the music off?
I'm not sure.
So it's going to be trips right now for the Pointers. Like I mentioned before, I want to see them go to the middle of the field. I feel like they're avoiding.
Yeah, so it was just a scoreboard communication. Looked like whoever was in-house, it was just about 17 seconds off. Or sorry, 7 seconds off. Or no, they're still. There we go. I was right the first time. They were 17 seconds off. So 9:37 is what's left on the clock. 1st and 10 for the Pointers from their own 13-yard line. Smith takes the snap. Pressure coming from the outside, has to step up, climbing the pocket, slides. And again on the slide has a defender land on top of him. In the National Football League, you will probably see flags flying that way, but wasn't any aggressive contact, so nothing super penalty worthy at all there. And after the gain of 1, it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Pointers.
So you're just starting to see it a lot lately, and Charlie Smith is not happy about it. You saw him kind of talking to that middle line judge, and it's just eventually you got to call it because they're just coming in late and they're starting to get used to it.
Yeah, it's building a habit for sure. Cashin lined out wide, throwing his way. Cashin has to go down to get it. Makes the catch, but it's still 3rd and long for Stevens Point as we take it under 9 minutes to go and counting.
Yeah, 38-7 here. I just want to see the Pointers try to put something together. It's just the best case scenario here is to get momentum going into that next game against River Falls, as right now you're just trying to do everything you can in your power to put some more points on the board. And so far they're playing good here in the second half.
Yeah. Smith's in the shotgun on the back line up to his left. Smith has time. Going deep with it, and he got his man. There's Wiechek, and the drive will not stall. It's a first down for the Pointers.
Yeah, Wiechek now with his third reception of the game, over 65 reception yards as well. Of course, he had that touchdown earlier in this half, so nice job there between Smith and Wiechek finally getting on the same page here.
They take out Cashin on this play at least. Now with under 8 minutes to go, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Pointers from their own 32-yard line. Smith is in the shotgun with the back lined up to his right as they motion Wiechek. Here's the snap. Smith looking downfield, and he fires that way to the near side. Got a man wide open, getting a block to the 30, cuts back to the 25, and that is where he'll be down. One of the Pointers' biggest plays of the day offensively.
And I just wish this was happening in the first half, Jacob. All the big gains, all the big completions are coming here in this fourth quarter and that third quarter as well. Charlie Smith has been playing great out of the pocket, so nice job there hitting the wide open wide receiver, Andrew Miller.
Trips left is the call, an empty backfield play. Smith
Holding.
floats it. Incomplete, and they do call holding. That couldn't have been more obvious.
You can see it all the way up here in the booth. He had the slot wide receiver. He was trying to go, I believe, back to Andrew Miller there, who had the big gain. And going back to that play, wide open coming across the middle for a big completion all the way down at the 30-yard line, or excuse me, the 25-yard line of Whitewater.
And here comes the call.
Pass interference. Defense number 36.
That was one of the more easy calls to say. It's pass interference called on the Warhawks, so that's a big gain once more for the Pointers.
Yeah, 38-7. Warhawks still up in this one. 7:17 left to go in this fourth quarter. And once again, I just want to I really want to see the Pointers just try and stay consistent and put something together here. And they really are right now in this drive.
Once again, an empty backfield play for Charlie Smith, looking for the end zone, throws it over the middle, and it's broken up and incomplete. A tight window throw, just misses, but that was a correct opportunity to take, at least in my opinion. They still have a couple more chances. The clock stops with 7 minutes and 12 seconds to go.
Yeah, it was a nice pass attempt to Andrew Miller once again, kind of coming across the middle towards that middle of the end zone on a cross route, maybe a little bit of a higher slant. But now Charlie Smith, I feel like you got a couple plays in your back pocket as well. Now you're seeing what's working. You're kind of reading what's going on. So good job here from Smith.
They had two backfield players there. Smith throwing, and there's PI once more. Again, the officials are seeing it now. There's so much contact on the far side, and they finally, they call it once more.
And he just missed him, Jacob. I'm going to be honest. He went to the wrong wide receiver there.
Did.
He had the wide open Bryson Cashin.
So you heard it there. Ball is placed at the 2, and Cashin was the wide open man on the far side of the end zone. He hit it more so at the hash. So now it's 1st and goal from the 2.
And here comes the Bryson Cashin run up right up the middle, whether it's going to be Wildcat or it's just going to be a handoff to him. But Lucas Mills is in the backfield for the Pointers.
Cashin is lined up in the slot.
But I also want to point out Wiechek is one-on-one at the top of your screen.
It's a fake and a toss for Lucas Mills for the passing touchdown.
What a beautiful play design there to Lucas Mills. Had a fake handoff to Cashin, went right to the wide open fullback, and Mills, a little 1-2 step into that end zone. It is now 13-38, awaiting the PAT. Pointers still putting points on the board, and you love to see it, Jacob.
Even though the Warhawks have the vast lead, they're the more sloppy team, committing much more of the penalties, and it came to bite them on that drive. Extra point attempt is up and good. 14-38 is your score with just over 7 minutes left here in the game.
The Pointers are playing good here in the second half offensively. Finally, I mentioned it at the start of the second half that Charlie Smith needs to hit his targets. They need to throw the ball a lot more, and it's been working perfectly. I feel like I called that perfectly. Little props to myself, Jacob, may I say. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yes, I think it's a great decision to actually throw the ball more. Charlie Smith seems a lot more comfortable in that pocket. He's rolling out, making the right reads, going through his progressions. So nice job there from Charlie Smith, leading another scoring drive.
Once again, score is 38-38. to 14. Whitewater in front. Kick is about to come their way as each team comes back out to prepare for the kickoff.
You look at the stats even for Charlie Smith. 10 of 21, 130 QBR rating with 1 interception, 2 passing touchdowns. So he hasn't had a bad game. He really hasn't.
No.
Charlie Smith's been playing great, kind of going back to his old ways. He played kind of underperformed in that that last game against Platteville. So coming back against another tough opponent in UW-Whitewater, great job here from Smith.
Just over 7 minutes to go. Down by several possessions. Pointers kick it away. And it goes back farther than Whitewater thought. And he touched it, so he's got to pick it up. And now they just called it dead. I'm not sure if he originally gave a fair catch signal.
But yeah, they're going to call it dead at the 10-yard line for UW-Whitewater. So now with 7 minutes left to go, Pointers down 38-14 right now. I think I just want to see another good defensive possession. They've really, I think this second half the Pointers have won. I'm going to be honest. I think even though they've given up 2 touchdowns, they've really looked like a much better team in the second half. So we mentioned adjustments before. Maybe so far the corners a little bit you got to fix. But overall this defense has been getting to the quarterback, creating a lot of pressure. So I want to see a lot more of that here from Stevens Point.
And Whitewater's got it on their own 10-yard line. So they got a long way to go. They need to complete a 90-yard drive to score. First play out of the pistol formation. And it's a handoff. The middle didn't get much. And that's their backup quarterback, I believe it is. Number 18, Aiden Lucero, the freshman out of Gurnee, Illinois.
Yeah, nice job there. Getting another 5 yards. This running game has been pretty good so far for the Warhawks. They're doing exactly what I said before, too. Go to the running game, and it's been working here. A lot more consistency here in this backfield, as there's also a backup quarterback in for the Warhawks as well. Lucero, yep.
From the pistol formation. Letting the clock run down. Now here's the snap. Lucero completes his first pass of the game. It's just a quick out route, not much there. And now it's third down already for the Warhawks with their 2s in.
Yeah, if the Pointers can get a stop here, put another touchdown on the board, I mean, if you look at realistically, it's only a 17-point game. So not
Correct.
A bad job here from the Pointers.
Not at all.
They've played the best they can. I feel like they've done everything correctly that they can do correctly. Not saying that they've done everything correctly, but what they've been given, they've been doing a good job.
I mean, you got to look at it. Last year they lost 66-0, and 38-14 still a large lead for Whitewater, but I still don't think it's comparable.
Now, audible here for the Warhawks.
Lucero is going to throw on the rollout, fires to the sideline. It's a catch. He stayed in bounds. That's a first down. Clock will run.
Yeah, Lucero completing the pass to Cade Sains, the wide receiver, the junior out of Goshen, Indiana. Nice job there making the comeback route and a first down for the Warhawks. Another 3rd and long completion for this Whitewater squad, and you've seen it a lot today. They're going towards the outside on comeback routes, out routes, whatever's working to get open, and they've been doing it pretty good.
Under 5 minutes to go. Lucero hands it off up the middle, sliding through tackles, and now finally brought down at the 36-yard line is the back. That was number 34 for the Warhawks, Derek Hill, the junior out of Stoughton, Wisconsin.
Yeah, nice run there from Hill, gain of 8. And we've been seeing it a lot. Whatever running backs back there for the Warhawks, they've been slipping off tackles pretty consistently. So you want to see the Pointers just kind of get better angles on the tackles. Obviously, not much time left to go to fix that, but something to talk about for sure.
2nd and 2. Lucero looking down the field, just fires the near side. He had to come back to get it, and it slips out of his hands. So an incompletion is the call, and once again it's 3rd down, this time short for Whitewater.
Yeah, the pass was intended for Darren Kunkel, the wide receiver. He kind of threw a pass right behind him, had to adjust to get it. Couldn't do it in time. Now 3rd and 3 for the Pointers. As it's good to see Brock Chadwick back in there for the Dogs. He came out with an injury last drive, so he's back in there now for the Pointers.
On 3rd and 2, Lucero is in the pistol formation with the back lined up behind him. Receiver lined out wide on the far side of the field. It's a give up. No, it's a keeper for Lucero. Bouncing to the outside, pushing ahead, and finally brought down past the 45, approaching midfield. Another Warhawks first down. Takes us under 4 minutes to go, up 38-14.
Yeah, Charlie Anderson tried to punch out the ball from Lucero. Got a few good jabs in there, but nice job by Lucero holding on to the football and getting a first down for the Warhawks.
Absolutely, trying to force a turnover there. Obviously doesn't work, but still the mindset and the effort is what counts. Now with 3.5 minutes to go, Lucero was lined up in the shotgun for the first time in this drive, with the back lined up to his right. And it's a handoff up the middle. Gets through the first wave and down near the 45 for the first time in this drive in Pointers territory.
And you got to mention once again, this is the second unit for the Warhawks, and this is the starting defense for the Pointers. So with the way that the Warhawks are moving this football so far on this drive, it's not a great sight for this Pointers squad. They got to change something up, obviously, defensively, and I'm thinking it really starts in the cornerback room. They're having too much separation. They really just need to play a little bit more closer. I want to see a lot more zone defense on the 1st and 2nd downs as well.
Under 3 minutes to go. Lucero on the shotgun, the back line up to his left. Inside run once more. Nice contact balance. Look at this. Slicing through defenders and gets a first down with forward progress.
Yeah, Cole Burkhorn with the carry, the sophomore out of Walworth, Wisconsin, making the play. He gets the carry there, and he just pushes it right to the first down. A nice job there once again from this running back room of Whitewater.
And it looks like Whitewater should have enough time on the play clock to force the 2-minute warning. And they're still in the huddle. So it looks like that is what it will be. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. And Brett, do you want us to give us, oh my goodness, the final update, at least for right now, these WIAC scores. One is a shocker.
We got a little bit of a flip. We're going to keep that one for the end, Jacob. But once again, UW River Falls has the lead against the Pioneers 31-14 with 11:38 left to go in that 4th quarter. The Pioneers 4-0. They might be going down to 4-1 as River Falls would improve to 4-1. Of course, the UW Lacrosse and Eau Claire game ended quite a bit ago. 41-21 was the final, with Lacrosse improving to 4-0, Eau Claire to 3-2. And a little bit of a score change, Jacob. UW Oshkosh was up, I believe, 16-0. They had a safety as well. UW Stout has scored 27 unanswered points to take the lead, 27-16. That's just crazy. I thought Oshkosh had it all the way at UW Stout, but now Stout with the big lead.
Oshkosh had a big win last week, I believe, against River Falls. So the fact that they are now, they've lost the lead by this much is absolutely sensational.
WIAC's all over.
It is. The WIAC last year was very much an unpredictable conference, and it seems even more so for the 2025 season. Now with 2 minutes to go, Lucero, the backup quarterback for Whitewater, keeps it, has trouble in the backfield, running the other way, breaking free to the far side, gets to the 30, and is finally brought down after the gain of about 9 yards. So great job for Lucero on the carry.
And Lucero, you're looking right at the future of the Warhawks. He's playing great so far.
As a freshman.
He's a freshman, so he will be the starting quarterback in a couple of years now with Klinker. I mean, Klinker is only a sophomore too. So I feel bad for Lucero at this point that you're only going to get 1 full year as a starter, but so far so good here in this appearance against the Pointers.
Now under a minute 30, 38-14 over the Pointers. Here's a handoff up the middle, getting into the second level, and what was that? Breaking free for the touchdown. I'm not sure who the defender was, but he just let him go.
Yeah, as the running back for the Warhawks, I'm trying to tell who scores the touchdown. I think it was number 22. Yes, number 22, Cole Berghorn. We talked about him before. Goes all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. Great job there from the Warhawks, getting another rushing touchdown. I believe it's their 4th of the game. I'll have to fact check that one. As we look at it, yes, their 4th rushing touchdown of the day. One from Stanton, one from Berghorn.
A flag thrown on the extra point attempt. They might have caught the Pointers with an encroachment penalty.
Defense number 29. That penalty is declined. The result is the try is good.
It was, in fact, on the Pointers. The call was offsides, but it is not going to count. The Warhawks are going to keep their points as they're up 45-14 with about 1:13 to go in the game.
Yeah, not a great job there from the Pointers, especially on that last play. It was an easy walk-in touchdown for the Warhawks, so we'll have to look over film and see exactly what happened there. But now, going into their final possession of the day, the Pointers, we're going to see their backup quarterback. And I mentioned it before, Carson Glossny is not on the sideline. I haven't noticed him at all, so I'm thinking it's going to go to the backup quarterback for the Pointers. It's either going to be Drew Vinny or the other quarterback, Vance Johnson, both freshmen. But we'll see if they decide to still stick with Smith at quarterback.
Whitewater sets up the kick. It'll be from the 35. Up 45-14 with 1:13 to go. And the kick is away. And that is straight boot right to the tee of the word Pointers in the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And let's see who they haul out for the backup role.
It's going to be Smith still. Smith is still in there at quarterback, which I'm just kind of surprised with. It's 45-14. You already saw the Warhawks. They have their second unit in already, so I don't know if the Pointers just want to try and put something together.
I mean, they only have one timeout left to work with. I'm not sure if they're just trying to instill some confidence into the starter unit or just trying to get them more reps, at least competent reps. We'll see. They still got some big guys up front for Whitewater. On the first play, it's an inside run, and that was Lucas Mills, who was the 4th string headed into this game. But as we mentioned, Zach Lynch got injured, so he is now acting as the running back 3, so that counts as a backup role. And now with under a minute to go, Pointers are just letting this clock run down. They have the ball lined up at about the 28.5-yard line.
Yeah, I would like the Pointers just, if they're going to keep the starters out there, why not try go for a touchdown here? 43 seconds left. Lucas Mills in the backfield. I'm sure he's just going to get a handoff here, but I just don't understand why the starters are still out there.
And they give it to Lucas Mills, has trouble in the backfield, and gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gets a half a yard or yard more. Now there's 25 seconds and counting. The Pointers have the opportunity to at least run one more play here. They're refusing to call their final timeout. It looks like the bench is ready for this game to be over, and I'm not sure. It doesn't look like they're going to run another play. And now they're lining up to the ball. Nope, they're just calling a game over. I'm not sure what that was. But there it is. The game ends, and your final here in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, is 45, Whitewater 14, Stevens Point. They called it out there as well. So overall, a very interesting game. A lot of things going on both sides of the ball. A great offensive performance from Justin Klinkner, the starting quarterback for Whitewater, and also great job defensively. The Pointers were able to force some stops. They had several sacks, at least 4 on the day as well. So the defense for Stevens Point did a lot of nice stuff as well. Yeah,
heading over to those stats real quickly before we let you all go on your way. UW-Whitewater, Justin Klinkner, once again, had a great day, 28 of 40. 2 passing touchdowns, 319 passing yards. Woo. All over the field. 6 receptions going to Vasey, 88 yards, no touchdowns. Hagerty, though, was the touchdown king today. He had 6 receptions, 79 yards, and a touchdown. And then Lippy, I guess, as well, 5 receptions, 76 yards, and a touchdown. And then rushing-wise, it was all over, whether it was Stanton with 84 yards and a touchdown. Berghorn had a touchdown at the end, 44 yards. And then also the other running back, Schultz, 8 attempts for 41 yards. Then heading over to the Stevens Point side, offensively, Smith had a much better second half, 10 to 21, 152 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Miller was the leading receiver, 3 receptions, 70 yards, no touchdowns. Weechek, 3 receptions, 65 yards and a touchdown as well. Then rushing-wise, leading the run game was Bryson Cashin, 13 attempts, 40 yards, no touchdowns. And you mentioned it on the defensive side for the Pointers, 4 sacks, 2 from Behrens. He has 3 on the season. And then 1 from Brody Overbeck, 1 from Josh Kristoff, and then Peyton Schwann getting a sack as well. As the Pointers, of course, drop this one 45-14. As Jacob, you want to kind of round this one out?
Yeah, I'll round this one out. The Pointers are back home next weekend on Saturday the 18th to take on River Falls with an upset victory over Platteville, who was one of the only 2 undefeated teams left in the WIAC. Now, the only undefeated team left is UW-La Crosse with their astounding victory today over Eau Claire. And then the Warhawks next weekend are back at home on the 17th where they take on UW-Stout. That'll be a night game. And obviously Stout had that major comeback victory, or at least the game is still occurring, but came back all the way against UW-Oshkosh. But that is all here from Stevens Point. We thank you, everyone who's listened and watched. If you were listening, audio was brought to you by WWSP 90 FM, with video brought to you by Pointer Studios through the WIAC Network and UWSP Athletics. I have been Jacob Spurl with Brett McNamara. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend.